Hi, Milers. This is Beverly of Miles and Coffee in Mexico, coming to you with another great video on Mental Health Monday. And as you can see, I have found another quaint outdoor cafe where I can sit and sip. I hope you'll join me.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great.
Anyway, grab your notebook because you saw in the thumbnail that today I'm discussing the 4 things that I learned from Stedman Graham. That's right. Trust me, I've seen him twice. I don't know Stedman. It's not that type of thing. It's just where I got a chance. Had the opportunity to hear him speak. And I consider it a privilege because when you hear someone speak, there are lessons to be learned. And I am a note taker. So I wanted to let you know that, first of all, before I even get into the 4 things that I learned, the photo in the thumbnail does not do Stedman any justice. Trust me, seeing him in person is awe-inspiring because it takes about 3 minutes for your mouth to come up off of the ground. He is that gorgeous. He's beautiful. And I'm not just saying that in a physical attractiveness, which we all know he is, but his spirit as well. I came away thinking, wow, he has the intonation and the tenor of his voice is similar to the speeches I've heard of Martin Luther King. I've never met Martin Luther King either, but the tenor in his voice, and I found out that he is from the South. I have to let you Google where he's exactly born from, but I thought, wow, his speaking voice is very engaging, and so is his personality and his aura. So let's get started about the 4 things that I learned from Stedman Graham that helps to maintain your optimistic outlook on life as we talk about our mental health. Okay, I'm outside, so you're going to hear a lot of noise, and that is part of being in Mexico. It is noisy here. If you'll see, and I'll probably leave up here in one of the corners a card to my former video about the pros and cons. One of the cons that I listed was the noisiness. Okay, number 1. Let's get in. These are just in no particular order, so I'm not going in up to the top 4. I'm just going to list them, starting with, well, the 2 times that I saw Stedman. The first time I was in Palm Springs on an all-inclusive package that I won as a part of a prize for a company where I was like a top seller that year. Not the top seller, but one of the top sellers. And I reached a goal that was set for me, and that was one of my packages. I think it was like 3 or 4 nights. Anyhow, I went to Palm Springs, and he was the keynote speaker. The second time I met Stedman Graham was at a school, actually, a charter school where I was teaching at the time. I searched and searched my camera, but I could not find the photo that I had that I took with him at that time. So you'll just have to believe me, but there will be no reason for me to lie. But both times that I saw him, he was imparting knowledge, and part of that I'm going to share with you. I'll leave also a photo of his beautiful book, and I'll leave a link to his book below because I happen to think that he has some really good steps and advice for success, and he is one of those successful people that we can listen to. And the first thing that I learned from Stedman Graham was, number 1, always surround yourself with things that interest you. Now, if you see me looking down, I have notes that I'm looking at. I'm going to say that again. Surround yourself with things that interest you, especially in today's day and time that we live in, with so much going on to distract us and catch our attention. For example, Stedman says, I don't care where he goes, whether it's for a business meeting or for leisure or to see friends. Now, among all the other things, I'm not quoting verbatim, but the 3 things that I can remember, and you can check Google again, but he says wherever he goes, he's looking for golf. Where will be the nearest golf course or resort? because that's one of his interests, and those are things that he does to keep healthy. So he's looking for a golf range. Number 2, he's also looking for bookstores, because he sold several books, and so he's a reader. And also he's looking for a Starbucks. Okay, so if you look at that, he surrounds himself with things that will keep his mind occupied and things that will engage his interests. Okay, so let's contrast that with what I'm looking for. You guys already know that I'm surrounded by wonderful coffee here in Chiapas, because this is one of the coffee states and coffee producers in Mexico. That has been an interest of mine, because that is how I take a break. So if I'm going somewhere, whether it be for leisure or travel, I'm trying to find a good coffee shop where I can sit and take a break. When I lived in the States, my bookstore of choice was Barnes & Noble. Sorry, you guys. I've got this thing propped up and I'm not doing a good job. I look for Barnes & Nobles. Why? Because I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I could read a book and put it right back on the shelf. And I could get, if not a decent cup of coffee, a decent snack, because Starbucks coffee is a little strong. So sometimes I would get either a cold coffee or some tea. They have really good tea and really good snacks. But another thing that I like to look for is, walking parks and places where I could get my steps in, whether it be inside the hotel. I never forget being at the Gaylord Opryland in Nashville. I remember taking walks on every break just to get my steps in around the hotel. I would take a walk to get some downtime and to refresh my spirit, just to get away from the madding crowd, right? So the first thing I learned from Stedman Graham: surround yourself with things that interest you. The second thing I learned from Stedman Graham is don't let people put you in the box. The minute he walked out on stage, he said, yeah, I heard you talking. I know you guys, what you're thinking. Everybody thinks the same thing. So he addressed the issue, the elephant in the room. And now I know why they're together, or why Oprah chose him, because this man has his own interests. He is his own person. And we all know that he makes his own money. So he just got that out of the room. But he also went back into his childhood, how, in your family, people see you one way based on where you were born, or who your family is, or what side of the tracks you come from. He said you can escape that box and define who you are for yourself. Never, ever let anyone define you to one box. So there are a lot of talents that we all have, but based on where you live or what you do, people would like to put you in a box, or they will put you in a box for something that they remember you for. And we all know in life we grow. So to enhance and protect your mental health, just step out of the box. And I like to sometimes do the opposite of what's expected. I'm going to say this, and it's held true for me. As far as staying in or jumping out of a box that people want to put you in, people will never believe what you say, but they'll believe what you do. I think I told a couple of people that I was coming to Mexico. Nobody listened. But after the fact, and I've been here over a year, people are still either in shock that I'm in Mexico, or are you still in Mexico? People will not believe what you say. They believe what you do. Because sometimes you have to jump out of the box and redefine for yourself who you are, and kind of change people's expectations of who you are. Okay, so that's number 2. The third thing I learned from Stedman Graham goes with number 2: run from negativity. People that never have anything good to say or are doing anything in life, you have to run from that, because it will bring you down. And this, the topic here is about protecting our mental health. And to do that, you have to run from negativity, whether it be friends or family. Okay, it's windy, so I had to adjust the camera, and there was a big truck moving by. Okay, take another sip. The The second time I mentioned that I saw Stedman was at a charter school where he held an interest, or probably a controlling interest, in that particular company that was the father company to that school. So he showed up one day for a performance that was at the school or whatever, and he was just visiting, but he decided to come back because at the time of his visit he was only shown the different parts of the school, or in a meeting with the administrators, and Stedman actually asked, "Where are the children?" He was concerned. He wanted to see the classes. He was there to see the students and the teachers as well. So he did a quick visit, and since time was of the essence, he decided, okay, let me come back tonight, and if you can invite the teachers and the parents, I will share from my book. We'll do like a little Q&A. Again, this was not planned. This was not part of the schedule. So the fourth thing that I learned from Stedman Graham was the generosity of spirit, the opportunity to give back. He took or created an opportunity to actually teach, and he admonished us. I'm giving you the 9 steps from my book for free. Take notes. He talked with the parents. He went to the tables. He actually made the rounds to greet people on his own. That was my biggest takeaway. The fourth thing I learned was this generosity of spirit, because he did not get paid for this quote unquote speaking engagement. He created it to give back. And he kept saying, I hope you guys are taking notes. And then out of the 9 steps, I think he skipped one. And one parent actually raised the hand and he said, yes, sir. He said, we're on number 9, but I think you skipped number 8. He was so thankful. He said, thank you. You're taking notes. You could tell by the expression on his face that did his heart good, because that meant that what I have to say, you have found value in. Okay, so that brings me to my fourth point. I'm not making money on YouTube. That is not why I do this. Number 1, it's a creative outlet for me. Number 2, as a teacher, it is my objective to give back. So thank you to those who like the video and who hit subscribe, and for those who make a comment. If you like the video, great, make a comment and hit a like. If you don't like the video, hit a thumbs down, and then just say hi, but if you can, just share, because that is my objective, is to give back. And if something is of value to me or blesses my mental health, I try to share that, and it gives me an opportunity to create a coffee talk. So from where I am in Mexico to wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And that's all I have for now. Remember to keep it simple and to take it one day at a time. And we'll see you next time on Miles and Coffee. Oh, speaking of coffee, I had so much fun creating that coffee tasting for you. Don't forget to tune in this Wednesday for part 2, where you'll actually see 4 extractions. The first one only had 1 extraction because they were talking about the beans, and then there was a lot of questions and answers and interaction, which created a wonderful environment. In the second part, it will go a little faster for you. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time, Milers, on Miles and Coffee.